Good morning, everybody. I'm Jenny Davis. I'm the principal of Piedmont Hills. Welcome to our second Zoom with the principal for the school year. I hope you all are doing well and that the start of the school year has been smooth. Little update. I know in my last newsletter, I talked about we are well aware of our traffic woes, especially in the morning. And my advice of dropping your kids off, maybe not in the parking lot, like behind the school or on the side of the school and surrounding streets, maybe faster for them just to walk in. So hopefully you guys are doing that. I did also talk to our construction manager, because as you know, hopefully you know that we are building a new building this year. And so we do have construction going on. So I did talk to the construction crew to maybe their arrivals and departures to not coincide with our drop off and pickup time. So hopefully we'll start seeing some improvement with the traffic. I just wanted to start with that and tell you, like, we are aware of it. We are working on solutions. I know it's not great. No, but that was not my topic today. My topic today is to talk about how you as a parent can access all of the tools, namely Infinite Campus, namely ARMS, Infinite Campus and Canvas, to be able to check your child's grades. That's probably the most important thing, but also attendance, and and I'll show you all the other things that you can access. So let me share my screen because I want to remind you, I showed this to you, I'm pretty sure last week. Let me get this box out of the way. This is our website. And I wanted to just remind you, as you know, hopefully you get the email every Sunday evening with the link to my newsletter. If that email just goes out to the primary email account that we have on file. So when you enrolled and registered, you listed an email account as the primary. That's the one that email goes out to. But everybody has access to the newsletter. If you just go on our website, this right here, you just click on this link and then it will take you to the latest version of my weekly newsletter. The reason I'm showing you this and for our topic today is I'm going to link, I'll send out the recording of today's meeting and all the presentations that I'm sharing out with you, but I also permanently link them on this newsletter so that they're always there. So if you ever need to go back and refresh yourself on how to do something, you will find the presentations for today on this newsletter, throughout the rest of the school year. I won't take them down. Okay. So that said, let's start with talking about ARMS. Okay, and then as always, if you have questions in the chat, please make sure you put them in there. Rupert Rosales is on the call with me today, so he will be answering questions, and we will get through all of your questions and help you out. Okay. So the first thing I want to start with talking about today is ARMS, and then we're going to talk about Infinite Campus, and then I'm going to talk about Canvas. That's the order we're going to go into. Okay. So the reason we're starting with ARMS is how you get into anything. But if you do not, before we actually really get into ARMS, if you have not received, if you are new to Piedmont Hills and you haven't received the registration email with a temporary password, this is what you need to know. This email is only going to the parent or guardian who's listed as a primary contact. So if you didn't do it, but the other parent in the household may have gotten it. So have that parent check your junk mail folder, because it might have gone into your junk mail folder. If you still can't find it, then you need to email Mr. Rosales, and there is his email address, and he will be able to help you. Rupert, do you want to have, before we get too deep in this, do you want to have anything to say about that? Rupert, are you there? All right, well, we're not going to worry about that. Okay, so once you are able to register, you're going to be able to, when you register, it creates an ARMS account. And so when you log into ARMS, this is what you will see. You go through everything through ARMS. ARMS is your dashboard to get access to everything, okay? So this is an example of what a parent sees when they log into ARMS. You will see links. So if you never, because I think I mentioned last week, when you Google Piedmont Hills, there might be multiple email addresses that show up because there's a separate email address that the district runs, but that's not the one we update. I know it's very confusing. On ARMS, we're here where it says the homepage for Piedmont Hills, this goes to our website that we actually use. So that right there is a quick way to get to our website. You can also get to the district office website. So if you wanted to, see something from the district office, that's how you can get that. Khan Academy is a great tool. Like if your child, they started with math, but I think now they have a lot of other subject areas also. But if this is a great tool for prepping, for like getting some tutorial on different subject areas, they have a great SAT prep through Khan Academy. So if your child's looking to take the PSAT or the SAT this year, Khan Academy is a great resource. And so you have a link to it right there. And then we have Infinite Campus, which we're about to talk about, and then you have Canvas, okay? So when you click on Infinite Campus, this is a couple years old, so you're gonna see, ooh, jumped ahead. This is what you see. You click on today, it will show you the schedule for that day. If teachers use this to post assignments, a lot of teachers may not post assignments in Canvas, but some do. You would see this there. You could also go under assignments. Assignments will show you like recent assignments. One thing that I need to have parents understand about grade books. According to the teacher contract that we of course need to, oh, thank you in the chat. You opened a C page different. You know what? That's interesting. I checked it. Okay. I'm thank you for that. I'm gonna double check that. Okay. So sorry, saw something in the chat and distracted me. According to the teacher contract, teachers need to use a grade book, an online grade book that parents can access. To the great frustration of many parents, it does not say which grade book they can use. So they can either use Infinite Campus or they can use Canvas. Canvas was new to us last year. Canvas is a little bit confusing for teachers. It was a whole new learning curve and like learning how to use Canvas. We spent a lot of time this past summer investing in training for teachers to teach them how to use Canvas. And so hopefully you start seeing more and more teachers using Canvas this year than we had last year. But to be completely honest, you may have a couple of teachers still using Infinite Campus. So if they are using Infinite Campus as their primary grade book, you can see assignments, you can see grades. Now, what I want to say about grades, Infinite Campus, the difference between Infinite Campus and Canvas. Infinite Campus is our like school monitoring system. It's what we as a school use for everything. If I were to look up a kid's schedule and look up a kid's attendance, and we Infinite Campus, how we enroll students is through Infinite Campus. So Infinite Campus is what we primarily use for everything. And so definitely what you will see if you looked in grades, if you want to see what grade is going to be on their report card, Infinite Campus will have the official report card grade. Canvas may only will have like what their current grade is. So right now we are in the third week of school. So Canvas is going to show what they're currently doing in the class. When we get to the end of the grading period, what teachers have to do is they have to upload their grades into Infinite Campus. And this is going to show the grades that go on the marking periods. Those of you that are new to Piedmont Hills this year, we operate on a semester system, which means the grades that really, really count, that are going to go on their permanent record or the transcript, which is what the permanent record is the semester grade. All right. So right here, you see so where it says semester grade, that's the most important grade. Okay. You can, I think this is if you went into and you clicked on an assignment in, so here where this little arrow is a circle, sorry, I'm like touching my screen like you guys can see my finger. Sorry, where this circle is, if you were to click on that arrow, that's what takes you to this. And then you can see detail of the grade if the teacher is using Infinite Campus as a grade book. And then again, you can see a breakdown of assignments. We're going to get into this in Canvas also. All right. What you definitely no matter what grade book they're using, attendance is taken in Infinite Campus. So you can check kids' attendance. This kid that we have as an example probably is not a good example because they had perfect attendance. But if you wanted to see, have they been 30? You can see, like, if you get a call and you say, I know when you get the robocalls, it says that your child has missed one or more periods, you can look in Infinite Campus and see which period they missed. You can also, if you needed to check their schedule, like if you were scheduling a doctor's appointment or something like that, and you couldn't remember, what class they had when, and you wanted to make sure that they didn't miss their biology class, which for this student is right in the beginning of the morning. This is, I should have updated. This is from a couple years ago. So this is our old bell schedule. You can see that. Another thing that you can see is if you, in Infinite Campus, if you clicked on documents, you can see the various docs. So you can see the schedule. You can see what's most important here is the grad inventory, which we're going to show you. So this is where you are able to look and see like your child's progress through high school. And so this will tell you if you looked at their the grad inventory, this is like an unofficial transcript, basically. It shows you this particular student is the beginning of their 9th grade year. You see here that they took a study skills class in summer school. But you see how here where it says earned, it's all zeros. It's because they're in the first semester of their freshman year, and they haven't they haven't completed it because the semester is not over. Because remember, the ones that grow on the transcript are the semester grades, not the progress report grades. And then the other thing that you can see is the academic plan progress report. So this kind of breaks down what they need to graduate and where they are. So this particular student looks like they're in their sophomore year. So here in the 9th grade year, they completed 10 out of 10 English credits. But you can see each year they need to take English. Social science, they don't take until they start that their sophomore year. So it's blank here for 9th grade. They don't take that. And so they can see that. This is just graduation requirements. So math is a good example because for graduation, we only require 2 years of math. Though if they want to get into a 4-year college, they probably need to take 3 or 4 years of math. And that would then go down to the electives. So if you see where, the electives here, there's a lot of electives. Students will get their elective credits without even really trying, because if they take that 3rd year of math in the tally, it goes under electives. Okay. But this is where you can really kind of, you are wondering, how is my child doing in their graduation progress? This is a great screen to look at in Infinite Campus. Okay. I'm going to end this slideshow. I'm going to go to the chat. Oh, hold on. Stop sharing for a minute. Let's go to the chat and look. And so tackle some of these questions before we get going in with Canvas. And so I'm going to skip the Canvas questions. I'm going to skip. Okay. Okay. So there's a question here about with the traffic. Yes, unfortunately, students will be marked tardy there's not really a big penalty with being marked tardy, to be completely honest. But they will be marked tardy, other than they're missing class. That's like the penalty. So I would say if you're 1 mile away, I live a mile away from my son's high school, he's going to have to walk to school. So it may be faster for them to walk. I will check on the website to make sure that that's correct and what's going on with ARMS. Yes, we will make sure that the Mauna Kea gate is open. I will remind the custodians and the campus monitors about that. I agree with the teachers using different platforms. Unfortunately, that's why I mentioned the teacher's contract, because I am limited by what's in the teacher's contract. And the teacher's contract simply says they have to use an online grading book where you, as the parent, can see the grades. If you come across a teacher that isn't using an online grade book, they're not using Canvas or they're not using Infinite Campus, then you need to let me know, because that is a requirement. They have to do that. I cannot, however, require which ones they do. I will tell you that before we started school, I strongly encouraged them to all start using Canvas, and said exactly what you were saying, that it is difficult for parents to like look at 2 different grade books, that having one place makes your life a lot easier. So I'm strongly encouraging teachers to do that. But please understand we're limited on what they can use. If you have a teacher telling you that they are only using Google Classroom, that's not okay, right? You as a parent can't see grades in Google Classroom. Students can, but the way Google Classroom is designed, there's no access for parents to see grades in Google Classroom. So teachers aren't allowed to use that as their sole grade book. So they've been told that multiple times. And so if you have a parent, or sorry, you have a teacher that is using just simply Google Classroom, please let me know, because that is not okay. They need to be using either Infinite Campus or Canvas. Is there an app for ARMS? Rupert, I don't think there is. There's just the website, right? No, but I don't know if you know how to make a shortcut on your phone, you can basically make any app, any website, an app by creating a shortcut on your phone to quickly get into it. Okay, I see Rupert's doing this.
Little by little, I'm answering the questions. Most of them are direct messages though, so I get confused when I'm responding. But yeah, I think the one for a tardy, we can excuse a tardy. They just have to have a documentation for why they missed a portion of the class. Same thing if they were like ill. We would just need a document.
I don't think there's any blocks on the Chromebooks, are there? Rupert, do you know? I don't think there are.
I think there's blocks on our system. So if
Yeah.
they have to log in under their ESU HSD. So like no matter where I'm at, I can't search inappropriate stuff on my work computer. I would assume they're in our system, so they can't do that as well. There should be
Yeah.
filters.
Teachers are encouraged to update every 2 weeks. But again, it's kind of loose. So there's not, what it says in the teacher's contract is they should be updated on a regular basis. A regular basis, there's a lot of room for interpretation. So one thing that I would recommend for you guys as parents in looking at the grade book, and this is advice that I've gotten from my own child's principals and various levels of schooling. One time my daughter had a principal who said, and it's always struck with me, and I was like, that's really great. That as parents, we should not be checking our kids' grades like the stock market. So meaning don't check like every couple minutes. I wouldn't even check like every day. A good practice to get into, and maybe you do this like over the weekend, maybe this is like becomes a Sunday evening thing. I would sit down with your kid and check the grade books with your child. And so, because one thing that you want to do as a parent, especially as a parent in high school, is having your child self-advocate for themselves. And so sitting down with your child and saying, okay, let's go through the grade book. And so if there is an assignment that's missing, you can then have a conversation with your kid, like, hey, how come you didn't turn in this assignment? And if they're like, no, I totally turned in the assignment, work out with them, okay, this is what you're going to go to and tell the teacher and ask the teacher about it. Or, should you email the teacher? And then you can help problem solve with them, but that they're going to be the one that goes and talks to the teacher about it. That's a really great practice to get your kid into the habit of with self-advocacy. So my son started high school today. Today is his first day of school. And so there was a freshman orientation yesterday and meeting for parents. And that was a piece of advice that his school gave to the parents and that I just totally stole, because I think that that was really great advice to sit down with your kid. And that is something that I'm going to start doing with my son, is I'm going to sit down and go through the grade book with him. And so we can look at it rather than me just looking at it and then harping on him and not let's have a conversation together. I think that that's a really great do that. Is there a way to archive old classes on Google Classroom from the summer? Meaning they took a summer school class and they use Google Classroom. I honestly don't know enough about Google Classroom to know if that's possible from like an old class. I think you still have access to old stuff as long as the teacher still has it active. But that would be a question that the kid should ask the teacher. Yes, if the child is not in class, we mark them absent. So we don't know that the child's late for traffic. Like, we don't know that. We have 2,000 kids that go to school here. So yeah, if teachers are told that if a student's not in class to mark them absent, that's what we have to do. There are 3 required years of history: world history in the sophomore year, US history in the junior year, and then the senior year is 2 courses. One is each semester. So one semester will be government and the other semester be economics, or it could be vice versa. It could be economics first and then government, but they take that so it's very difficult for kids to switch classes. We really only do it if there is an error in their schedule. We are limited on class size. We cannot, that's what they're talking about with because the teacher contract says that we cannot overload classes. And so we cannot put kids in classes that are full, and our classes are very full. So she should, if your kid cannot, and I'm about to go into Canvas, if your child cannot see a class in Canvas, that they need to talk to the teacher about it. So that seems like the teacher hasn't activated the class. And so, because I'm assuming it's not just her, it's all of the students, I'm assuming, but maybe I'm assuming wrong. Okay, let's start talking about Canvas, because a lot of these questions, I think we will, hold on. Share screen. Okay, so first thing to know with parents, with Canvas, your student needs to give you as the parent access to Canvas. So your student needs to go into their settings. They need to find a pairing code and give it to you. And I'm going to show you how to do that. After you download the app, or you could just go through ARMS. You don't have to download the app. You can just go through ARMS and create a name and password. It will ask you the code. So you're going to get into Canvas. You're going to create your name and password. It's going to ask you the code, but you got that pairing code from your child. You will enter it. So if you click on this link, it actually takes you to this like shortcut pairing instructions. So you go to Canvas, you can download, if you just want to have like download the app, Canvas does have an app. Your child is going to do is they're going to go to, they're going to like where it says settings, they're going to pair with observer. They're going to get a code. See right here, they have a code. That's the code that you will put in. This is what you do. All right, sorry, I'm like not being able to read this, the flow of this chart. All right, the right side is what the kids do. Now I'm getting it. Okay, let's do the kids first. They go to Canvas, they go into their account, they click on settings, they click on this box that says pair with observer. And so those of you that had previous kids and now you have a new kid, your new kid has to do this. Okay, that's how you're going to get a new link. You pair with the, you get the code, and then the kid's going to give you that code, right? So you as the parent, you've downloaded the app, you've gotten into Canvas, you've created your, you found your school. If you go through ARMS, I don't think you have to find the school. You create an account. You make all of your, you know, usernames and your passwords and everything. You get the code right here. You're going to put in the code and then you start participating. Okay. So you have to make sure you do that. I think that if you already have an account, there's probably a button that says that you can start, you can add a second child and with a new pairing code. So you can set your notifications and you can get notifications however often you would like from Canvas. If you want daily notifications, you can get that. If you want to know, so, you know, do you want to know the due dates, announcements, when the assignment has been graded, if assignment is late or missing, you can customize this for you. So that, to be completely honest, that's a lot of notifications. And so you may be like, no, I just want to get notifications like once a week and like for this type of stuff. So you can like, it's your email box and how many like emails you're going to get from Canvas, because it could be totally overwhelming. And so maybe this is something that you, you know, you start out one way and then you're like, you know what, that's not working for me. You can go and adjust that. So it's not just a one-time thing. And then you've got, when you first log in, you're going to see your students' dashboard. This is where all your students' classes can be located. There's all of these tiles. And like that's like, there's going to be a tile for each class. By the way, I want you guys to know that my son's school uses Canvas too. And so I'm going to be figuring this out as a parent also. I'm right there with you. So I know how hard it is. I'm very sympathetic to how confusing this could be to figure all this out. On the right side, and I don't know, you probably will start seeing this pop now that we're in the third week of school. You're going to see more and more stuff being populated here. You're going to find the to-do list. This includes all the recent assignments and all the announcements combined. So it's not separating it out by subject area. This is just kind of like everything they've got going on. Under the to-do list is recent, down here is recent feedback. This shows all recent assignments that have been graded and the score that was earned. Under the feedback, which on the screenshot it can't be seen, there's a button that says show grades. That will take you to all of the current grades. It's a little shortcut that the student has. If you're in the calendar, this is another view. You can kind of see it mapped out in a calendar view. And so you can, this is a nice way to see like where they can, you know, what's upcoming with due dates and things like that. So you can see like, oh, next week they're going to have this lab due, or they're going to have a test or something like that. So that's kind of a nice view to see what's upcoming. This would be a great thing. And this view, when I talk about like sitting down with your child and going through this is a great thing to go through and kind of like as a family map out, okay, you're going to have club meetings and you've got this practice and this is coming up. And so what else, and help them like manage their time. Especially the younger they are, freshmen and sophomores, time management is something that they struggle with. And so you really helping them like figure out, okay, this is what we need to do. And this is a great thing too, as a family, like if you like have events coming up in your family that are going to be a big deal, and like you've got a weekend where you've got a big family reunion or something like that, and then they've got a project due that next Monday, that like, okay, we're going to have to manage that and like figure out, our time. So this is a great thing to look at as a family. This is the agenda view. It's the same information, but it's in a list format. So you can adjust this. So you see you can see up here where you could look like by the week, you can look by the month, or you could look at the agenda view. This is a personal preference, and whatever view is like best for you. It's the same information though. Okay, if you go under courses and you go into assignments show you assignments that the teacher has published. It will show when they are due, if it has been graded, and how many points your student received on that assignment. So you see here, like it's got this sorry, I'm pointing to my screen again, like you guys can see my finger. This particular assignment, it's 10 points, but it has not yet been graded. Okay. You can click on the assignment and it will show you all the details and instructions that the teacher provided. It also will show you how your student should submit the assignment. So, they could turn it in like by a piece of paper in class, in the text box, which is something that is within Canvas, Google Drive, that sort of thing. So, for example, this particular assignment, this is like obviously an early assignment, and this is a getting to know you assignment. It says, please fill out the following information, turn it in here on Canvas. So that's something that a student, like the teacher posted it, the kid does it in Canvas and they just turn it in Canvas. The teacher gave the option that they could do it on a piece of paper and turn it in like that. And it's, it has listed everything that needed to be included in the assignment. So the kid sees this, and then you can see this as a parent to see, okay, what had to happen in the assignment. In the grades section, you will see all of your students' scores. Status will show if it's missing or late. If it's still ungraded, there will not be a score seen. If there's a paper image under score, it means it's been submitted by your student. It just hasn't been graded yet. So this is a great way to check if your kid actually turned the assignment in. So you can see here like this English info card, and the teacher hasn't graded it, but there's this little like paper thing right here, like this little paper icon. That means your child turned it in. The teacher just hasn't graded it yet. Great. That's good information as a parent to know. Did my child turn it in or not? Okay. You can, if you need to reach a teacher, you can click on the inbox, and then that will look for information on how you can email the teacher. Okay, and it should go directly to the teacher's email. And I'll show you on the website where you can find all the teachers' email address. I think I showed that to you last week also. The app on your phone looks slightly different, but will show you the same information. There's a video that's linked here if you want to see what Canvas will look like on your phone. I'm not going to play that to you, but I will send out, like I said, I'm going to send this out. So if that's something that you wanted to do later on and look at that video, you are welcome to. All right, so that is the end. Oh. Sorry, a little brain glitch there. Okay, if you need the link to ARMS, hopefully Rupert's helping you, but you just email Rupert. Okay, great. I'm assuming talk to the teacher, arrange can do nothing. Okay. Have your daughter come up to the office and talk to one of the associate principals. If they talk to me, they can talk to Mr. Campbell, Ms. Pereira, anybody, any of us, and we'll figure out what's going on with that. So we are in the process of hiring an attendance clerk. So our attendance contact information, like the one number, it's being forwarded to the other person. But we've been having issues with that. We're doing interviews for the attendance clerk next week. Hopefully we can hire somebody very soon and get our attendance office fully staffed. So if there's issues, like we understand. And so we are cleaning up attendance. So don't worry. Canvas and ARMS are separate logins, but you can get to Canvas from ARMS. Okay, you can use the same username and password for both if that's just easy for you, but they are separate logins. Yes, the platforms that we provide as a district are Canvas and Infinite Campus. So like I said, a lot of teachers still do use Google Classroom because Google Classroom is very easy for teachers to use. Google Classroom does talk to Canvas and it does talk to Infinite Campus. So they can use Google Classroom and then upload it into Canvas. And that's something they do, but the grade book needs to be either Infinite Campus or Canvas because you as the parent cannot see grades in Google Classroom. All right, we're going to get this biology problem fixed. We will, we'll get that fixed. I promise. I will work on that today and see what's going on with that. Is it necessary to set up an account for a parent? Is there any difference between these two kinds of accounts? No, other than if you're going to access Canvas as your child, then you need to know their username and password. And so you need to be able to get it, if you are going to like just sit down and look at it with them, it may be that you don't need to do this as a parent. That's a total personal choice. This is how you set up a parent account. I'm going to be completely honest. When my daughter was in high school, I found setting up a parent account, it wasn't, I feel like Eastside's done a lot to make this as easy as possible. Her district, when my daughter was in high school, it was not an easy process. They provided me with a password that was like random letters and numbers, and I lost it. So I could never log in as a parent. I logged in as my daughter throughout her high school career, and it worked just fine. But, officially we're supposed to tell you that, a username and password is private information and that your student has a right to privacy. What you and your child work out and do is totally up to you. And whatever works for your family is totally fine. I'm gonna, but there is no difference between the accounts. Like you guys are seeing the same thing. Okay. And they say forgot password and then reset. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys. Looks like you guys are helping each other. That's great. I love the parent community helping each other. Do parents use the same login or can you use separate parents? You can do separate parent accounts, or you and your partner can decide that you want to have the same account. Again, that's a family decision. Some parents obviously aren't living together and maybe that's not, they want to have separate accounts. That's totally fine. But you may decide like, hey, we're just going to have one account. I don't see my husband and I having separate accounts. That seems like a lot. But again, like that's an individual family decision and we can accommodate whatever you guys need. We answered all the questions. Okay. So hopefully, Spanish 3, but she couldn't see the class in her Canvas portal. Do we need to ask the teacher? So ask the teacher, do they use Canvas or are they using Infinite Campus? When we have back to school night, which is on August 31st, which is in 2 weeks from tomorrow. That is one thing that teachers are going to be required to tell you is, where can you find the grades for their class? Hopefully, before then, and it's obvious before then, but I would email the teacher and ask them like, hey, are you using Infinite Campus or Canvas? My guess is if like you can't see anything in Canvas, the teacher may not be using Canvas. So that would be information that the teacher would have to tell you. Any other questions that you guys have? Okay, while I'm waiting for you guys to put in some more questions, I know some of you are thinking of some more. I will tell you, I normally at the end of each meeting, I tell you what our topic is for next week. And that's our topic for next week is to be TBD. I'm not going to be at the Zoom with the principal next week, which I hate to do. I always try to be here, and Wednesday mornings 95% of the time work for my schedule, except every August. And unfortunately, they have this meeting on Wednesdays. It's required for principals to go to. There is a CCS meeting for all athletics, and all principals have to go to this meeting. And so I will be at that meeting next Wednesday morning. I have to attend to it. I have to attend it. So I'm working on a couple of options. Either I'm going to have the counselors here and they will be presenting, or I may, it seems like next Wednesday is actually like, there's a lot of stuff going on. So if nobody is available to run it, I may just pre-record something and send it out to you guys as a video, which I've never done before. Yeah. One thing that teachers may do, like what say all teachers use the same Infinite Campus, it's easier for parents to check a kid's grade. One thing that happened last year, teachers that were still using Canvas, what they did was they're able to link to Infinite Campus. And so they will you can where you could just see all the grades in Infinite Campus, because it's really easy for a teacher to link Canvas to Infinite Campus, and then it's just right there. So they may still be using Canvas. Rupert, it's 6 p.m. So they may still be using Canvas, but then they may be linking their grades into Infinite Campus, and you can still see the grades in Infinite Campus. Back to school night starts at 6 p.m. So it's on August 31st. It's over, I'm saying 6 to 8, but the last class ends at 7:45. But basically what it is 10 minutes in each period. You go around, you follow your kid's schedule. You go around. If you've never done a high school back to school night, that's how it works. I think it works probably the same in middle school. But you go around, just follow your kid's schedule, and you get to get lost in the school like your kids do on the first day of school. I will maybe this next week I'll start sending out a link. I have a sheet that you can have your kid fill out for you of where all their classes are. And so there's also a map. My advice to you as parents, have your kid fill that out for you beforehand. And I have a little map attached to the school, and have your kids show you where the classes are and the best way to get around. Parents that have their kids do that, it's always very helpful. You could actually bring your kid to back to school night with you if your kid's not mortified to be seen with you. You could do that too. Some kids, there's no way they would like to do that. And then other kids are like, yeah, I'll go to back to school night with you. All kids are different. Can you bring your 7-year-old? Yes, you can. Yes. We always have little kids at back to school night too. It was fun last year. Those of you that are returning parents, last year was our first in-person back to school night. since the fall of 2019. And so it was nice because there were so many parents that like were parents of juniors and seniors, and they hadn't been on the campus yet. So it was actually really nice to have everybody back. If you have more than one kid and only one adult can attend. So I think we actually talked about this a little bit last week. If you have a friend that can come with you and you can split it up, you could do that. Or you can pick and choose. You can say, you know what, my older kid, their classes, I'm more concerned about them, so I'm going to go to their classes. Or maybe, vice versa, your younger kid, they're a freshman, and so you want to like see what's going on with them. That's a personal decision. You could split it up and be like, I want to go to this class for my older child and this class for my younger child, and split it up. I know it's hard. I'm going to ask the teachers to email out to all parents what they present that night, no matter what. So you can, if you missed a class or you can't attend on August 31st, that way you can still see and you didn't miss anything. If there is no difference, what you can see as a parent is the same as what your child can see. And if you know how to log on as your kid, then that's fine. Again, I think officially I'm not supposed to tell you that because of privacy reasons. But I know what it's like being a parent, and I totally understand. And I've been there, and I used my child's account and it worked just fine. So no need to rock the boat. If you've got a system that's already working for you, that's great. You know what? Parenting a teenager is hard enough. You got to figure out what makes it work and just go with that. So, okay. So we are going to wrap this up because I have to go supervise the students' break, which is starting in a couple minutes. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Like I said, this is my son's first day of high school. I had a couple of years where my daughter was in college and my son was still in middle school, that I was not a high school parent, but I am now fully back into being a high school parent. I'm here with you. I totally understand what it's like. So together we will make this work. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week, and then check the newsletter and I will tell you what our plan is for next week, because right now I don't know. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.